Dismissive avoidants are the relationship equivalent of bulimia. They crave intimacy, just like a bulimic craves food. They want to be full. But the bulimic never allows themselves to stay full because they purge. Well, dismissive avoidants, they want that intimacy, but they never allow themselves to actually experience it because they never allow anybody to get close enough. Early in the relationship, early in dating, it is the shared fantasy. That's because it's not a real relationship yet. There are fears around vulnerability, intimacy, commitment, expectations, conflict, things like that haven't been triggered yet. So they go all in. They kind of gorge. They are really feasting on that validation, that connection. But the problem is they purge. It gets too much, too overwhelming. So they end it. They distance themselves. They shut down, discard, push their partner away, rather than actually allowing themselves to experience the intimacy. So they have this thing that they constantly crave that they never allow themselves to experience. Now, being on the receiving end of it, it feels like, ooh, I must not have been enough. If I was just better, if I was less needy, if I was less this, if I was less that, they wouldn't have been able to stay with me. They would have been able to maintain that connection. I'd still be with them, or we'd be in a much better place. Not the case. They were enjoying all that fantasy validation because early on, like I said, it's a shared fantasy. They are their fantasy selves. They're stepping into that fantasy role, the person they wish they could be, the person that can have the intimacy that they crave, but they can't really sustain it because they haven't done the work to heal the wounds that triggered them around vulnerability and intimacy and everything normal in a relationship. This all stems from profound emotional neglect in childhood. Yeah, their basic needs are met, food, clothing, shelter, but their emotional needs were not met. They grew up in a household where you don't talk about feelings, where their own feelings were rejected and dismissed. And because of this, every normal relationship behavior triggers them because they personalize the neglect, growing up to feel defective and unlovable, like there's something wrong with them. Defectiveness is the core wound. This is why they don't let anybody get close enough to where they can actually experience the intimacy they crave. Every human being craves intimacy unless it's someone with a personality disorder, but they just are so insecure about it, they can't allow themselves to experience it. Their fear is if I lower my walls and I let this person in and I let my partner truly in and see the real me, they'll figure out I'm defective and they'll reject me. So they crave it, but they're so terrified of rejection. They're so filled with shame and that feeling of defectiveness, they never let themselves experience it. And it has nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with their unhealed wound.